A reading from John 1, beginning at verse 43. The next day Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no deceit." Nathanael said to him, "How do you know me?" And Jesus answered him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael answered him, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus answered him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? You will see greater things than these." And he said to him, "Truly, truly, I say to you, you will see heaven opened, and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Now there's a lot to this passage from John's Gospel, but what I want us to look at here is a pattern that we might see of mission, a pattern that we might see of sharing our faith. Because in this passage we find Jesus calling Philip and then Philip going to Nathanael. So we can see a pattern of somebody being called by Jesus and then himself recruiting, I suppose you'd say, another follower of Jesus. And I want you to notice one or two things as we go through the passage. First of all, notice that the initiative is with Jesus. The next day Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now, in the ancient world, in Israel, if you wanted to go to a rabbi, you would go to the rabbi and ask him whether he might teach you. What you wouldn't get is the rabbi coming out and saying to people, you, follow me. That isn't how it was done. And yet Jesus takes the initiative in these things. This should give us some comfort. It's not up to us to have super convincing arguments. It's not for us to go out and hunt people, but rather Jesus takes the initiative. It is Christ who draws people to himself. And so the very first thing we do as we seek to share our faith with those whom we know, those whom we love, is to pray. Because that in the end is the essential thing. It is Christ who calls. And so it is that he called Philip. Philip then finds Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael, though, is, he's somewhat sceptical. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? And Philip's answer to that is an instructive one. He said to him, "Come and see." Philip didn't launch into some great argument. Philip didn't say, here's 6 good reasons why you should believe. Rather, Philip said, come and see. He wanted to bring Nathanael directly to Jesus. He didn't want to impress Nathanael with his clever arguments. Rather, he wanted to take him to the source. And this isn't a bad pattern. If people want to understand why you are a Christian, you can do a lot worse than simply invite them to church. Say, "Come and see. Come and find out why I go to church. Don't let me try and convince you. Just come and find out for yourself." And that is what Philip did with Nathanael. And then when Nathanael did go to see, we see once more Jesus taking the initiative. Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no deceit." So all Philip did was bring Nathanael to Jesus, and Jesus took over from there. He, through this discussion that carried on, demonstrated his knowledge of Nathanael. Jesus drew Nathanael to himself. Philip was merely the person shepherding, if you like, Nathanael to Jesus. So in here I think we can find something of a model of evangelism, a very realistic form of evangelism. It doesn't rely on great knowledge. It doesn't rely on you knowing all of the answers. It's simply an evangelism that says, well, come and see. So the next time somebody asks you why you go to church, perhaps a good answer is simply that. Well, come and see.